We'll start off with just going over what spiritual coaching is and really the transitioning process from one-off sessions into high-paying transformations. Some of you even that are here may actually have, your confidence in your business started as a coach, but you might be stuck in that cycle of focusing on one-off sessions, which in the moment sometimes can feel nice because you're like, oh, people can afford this. I get clients, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is over the long term, you actually do your clients a disservice and do your business a disservice. So this presentation and this free training is really about how to make sure you can really start to lay the groundwork so you can have those high paying clients and those really in-depth transformations for your clients, because that's why we do what we do. As many people that may say, oh, Tansy, you talk about money too much, this and that. I am totally that person that has never been about money. I'm not a name brand, I never judge a person by how much money they do or do not have. Money actually is not a really driving factor for me. Do I enjoy it? Of course. But that's not what this is about. And I'm sure for each and every one of you, that is not what has inspired you to become a coach or to become a healer. I know that that's not, if you were going to really be driven by money, you'd likely go on a very different path. But through having that transformational program and having high paying clients, it really gives you the freedom to support your clients in a way that will transform their lives. So in this mini training, we're going to go over exactly what spiritual coaching really is and what it isn't. We will discuss the demand for coaching. I mean, will anyone really pay thousands of dollars? I get this question all the time where people are like, who pays that? Who buys these $2,000, $3,000 programs? I don't know anyone that could afford that. And the truth is, absolutely, people pay it. People are happy to invest that money in themselves, and we will go over that some more. So in how coaching could change your business. And easy ways to know if you are already ready to begin incorporating coaching, or if you already are incorporating coaching into your current business, into your current services, and maybe you just are unaware that you are. And the quickest way that you can get started, because that is really what I'm all about, is getting results quickly and really stepping into our path, into our power as quickly as possible. Because in my opinion, by the time we really start sitting down and thinking about this, we've probably been being called to it multiple times over months, if not years. So I love to really dive in and get started. So who am I and how did I get started? So some of you are familiar and know me. Others, we haven't had the chance to connect. So I'm Tansy Linstall. I'm the creator and founder of The Modern Day Mystic. I started my business as a healer and an intuitive medium, as a psychic medium. And I loved what I was doing. I really, really did. Don't get me wrong. I live in a small town. I was super blessed to have a bunch of amazing clients. But I kept being called and guided towards something more, something deeper, something that would allow me to really support my clients ongoing, which I got that first kind of download came in a meditation. And within a matter of days, I was signed up and enrolled in this coaching certification that I took. And like I said, that was in 2015. I took the certification. I started my business, started my Facebook page for my business in 2013, became a Reiki master in 2012, early 2013. So my business had been going for a while before I dove into coaching, but I didn't know how to actually incorporate that into my business, how to really make that transition. So I didn't. And by 2017, I was pregnant with my youngest child, my son, and my business was crazy busy. And the truth was, I was burnt out. I was burnt out and I was becoming more and more unfulfilled. And I know that that can sound to someone who's just starting, especially if you're just starting to build your Reiki business or your mediumship business, that can sound super ungrateful. It wasn't that I wasn't grateful for what I had and the clients I was getting to work with. I was just exhausted. My anxiety was through the roof. I had more anxiety than I had ever had. I was being pulled in every direction. I was going through this roller coaster of being super busy in my business and then being in bed with the psychic flu. And I remember my husband looking at me and saying, I don't want to be married to someone who is sick. And it was even worse because I was working with a mentor who is a very, very well-known medium, an incredible medium. And she was so burnt out and so sick that she was physically sick. She was having to cancel all appointments for years. She's still multiple years behind. And I knew that that's not what I wanted my business to be. I knew that's not the way Spirit wanted me to work. So during my period of burnout, I was lucky that I gave birth to my son, because that gave me a chance and a reason to really step back. And during that time, I found myself cringing anytime someone would text me about an appointment. And then I went through this whole inner crisis of, oh my God, who am I if I'm not a medium? Who am I if I'm not an intuitive energy healer? This is what, since 2011, I have dedicated all my time to, is learning and to embracing this lifestyle. And who the heck am I if I'm not there for my clients to do readings? And so in that period of feeling lost and confused, I was given my greatest gifts by really starting to go back and think about how I wanted my business to be, how I wanted to support my clients, how I wanted to work with people. And the truth was that a reading or a healing was just the tip of the iceberg. Because so many of my clients I would bump into, once again, I live in a small town, so I would bump into them, and some of them would implement everything, and they would just change. They were totally different people. And then other clients wouldn't implement. And I would say, did you pick up the book that I recommended? No, still haven't got around to it. Did you read that thing that I sent you? No. Have you started meditating since you took the course? No. And I realized that people, I myself am guilty of this as well, need support. They want support. And being a psychic or a medium or a healer wasn't giving them the support that they needed. So that's when I decided I was going to dive headfirst into figuring out this whole coaching thing and really get it out there and to really step onto my path and follow that calling. And I'm so grateful I did, because it changed my life. So I want to go over what spiritual coaching is not, because I see a lot of people struggle with this and say to me, you know, Tanza, I don't have a degree in psychology. Great, you don't need one. You really don't. And you're not marketing yourself as a psychologist, or you shouldn't be. Most people understand that when they're hiring a coach, they're not working with a counselor. This is not therapy. You're not having people relive the past over and over and over again. And you're not responsible for another's life decisions. Once again, going back to that, you know, my own inner thoughts that I had at one time of, who am I to tell someone how to, you know, live their life? That's not your job as a coach. It's not. And it's really amazing, because more than ever, I'm finding that I'm speaking to more and more women, because I work with women who do have the degree in psychology and who do have their own counseling practices. And I'll never forget one that I spoke to a while back, who had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of student loan debt and was making about the same in a year that I'm making in a month. And I was like, wow, that is mind-blowing. And I'm seeing more and more counselors being drawn to coaching. And it's not just me that's seeing this. This was actually in, I'm trying to remember what magazine it was, Psychology Today or something. They were talking about how more and more counselors are transitioning into coaching and leaving the traditional practice. So just kind of something interesting. So what is spiritual coaching? If it's not counseling, if it's not therapy, if it's not telling people how to live their life, what is it? So spiritual coaching is really offering your clients the opportunity to really transform their lives. How in the world do we do that? We do that through creating a safe container where people can begin to really explore their desires, what they want, and what they're working towards, and to feel supported. Because in this day and age, more than ever, I mean, I think it's always going on, but more than ever, it feels like we have a lot of naysayers out there. A lot of people think you need to live your life one way. And so what we see is people get conditioned to even be afraid to explore what they want, because people have told them just, go to school, get your degree, get a good job, buy the house, get married, have the kids, and just be happy. But the truth is, for most people, that does not deliver true happiness. And as a spiritual coach, we focus on bringing more spiritual practices and techniques into people's lives to help them to be more fulfilled, to help them to heal themselves, taking the pressure off us as the healers, and instead empowering our clients to step into their power of being the healers while being supported. It's sharing the knowledge and techniques that have changed your life. As a coach, your greatest gift, more valuable than any certification ever could be, is your life experience. And that's something that for a lot of people holds them back, because they think, I haven't always had it easy, or I haven't had a great life, or, I was abused, or I had this, or I had that, so that's why I shouldn't coach anyone. And the opposite is true. That is why you should be there to support people. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have enough people in my life, enough professionals in my life who seem to have it all together. Whether it is the doctor or the counselor or the psychologist, and they're perfect, or they appear perfect. And to someone who is going through a moment of inner crisis, or going through something where they need healing, they want someone that's walked the path, that's done it. It's kind of like if you compare it to weight loss. For myself, I'm obviously a heavier set woman. For me, when I hire a trainer, I'm looking for someone who's been overweight herself. I want someone that knows what it's like. And for a lot of people, they're different. So everyone is different, but a lot of people want that relatability. And that is much more important to them than a degree. They look at your hands-on experience. And it's really, amazing to watch, because almost all of my clients who build their own transformational programs and start spiritual coaching, they realize that they've been doing this through their one-on-ones with their family, with their friends, their entire lives. So spiritual coaching is also giving your clients the opportunity to receive support and guidance from you for months at a time. This is not, okay, see you next year. This is, we're holding this person accountable, because more than ever, we're busy. I've got 3 little kids, another business with my husband. I'm busy. So when I'm working with a coach or a mentor, which I do always, well, not always, but since I worked with my first mentor beginning in 2012, and since 2012, I've had, I believe, 1 year, maybe 2 years, where I didn't have a coach or a mentor I was working with consistently. And that's because I perform and I get results. And I implement so much more when I have someone holding me accountable. And that's exactly what coaching is all about, is helping your clients to get clear on what they want, get clear on what their goals are, get clear on understanding why they want what they want, because that just makes it more powerful. And then offering them that support to make sure that they're implementing. And exactly that, helping them get clear on what they want out of life and supporting them as they really go for it. Like I said earlier, most of my clients have already been coaching. And what's beautiful about this is that it then becomes a very easy transition. Because for most of us, what holds us back is we say, like, I don't know how to coach. We think we don't know how to coach. Coaching is a very intuitive practice, very intuitive ritual, which is why I choose to work with intuitive women, not only because that's where I started, but also because intuitive women really rock at this. They're really, really good at this because they can sense what their clients need. They can sense the support that they're looking for, and they can really show up in an empathetic and heart-centered way. So some ways to know if you're already coaching in your healing business is, do you text your clients in between appointments because you're genuinely curious about how they're doing and because you really care? Do you share techniques or practices in your sessions? Because this was a huge realization for me, and this was such a huge confidence booster for me when I realized I had coached for hundreds of people. Because if you're a psychic or a medium like I am, you know, during a reading, if you're sharing books and tools and techniques, that's not necessarily directly channeled through spirit. Do you sometimes see a book? Yeah, absolutely. But it's a little bit different when you're sharing these tools and techniques that you know could help your clients, especially like, for example, my psychic sessions, I would always go off a person's chakras, and I would be able to tell what was going on inside them emotionally, what was going on externally, or a lot of what was going on, and kind of put those bits and pieces together. Well, I would give them different tools and techniques of how they could bring more balance into their life. Even though that feels like it's a psychic reading, as soon as I'm no longer telling them about what I'm picking up on and what they can do to actually help that, you're stepping into the role of coaching or mentoring. So I bet a lot of you are doing that. And if your clients are coming or often want to come for regular appointments, they're asking for more support. Unless you have a client who is like literally cannot make a decision without you. And if you do, I hope you send that person lots of love, and I hope you detach yourself from that client, because those tend to be the most draining ones. But if you have clients who just want to come for regular appointments, essentially they're asking you for more support. They want more guidance. They want more support. They want to see you on a regular basis because they know working with you is making them feel better. So why not give them the way that they can, where they can really commit to their healing and their spiritual journey? And then, of course, if you do have that client that is sucking the energy by wanting to have an appointment before she makes every single decision, you know, she's someone that would really benefit from learning how she can trust in herself, from learning how she can really learn to make decisions and not be afraid of making the wrong decisions, and really just leaning into her truth, because she could be someone that has never had that ability or that support to say, hey, Kathy, I trust you. I'm here for you. But what feels good to you? Do your clients often contact you for suggestions on resources? I cannot even tell you how many times I had clients say to me, you know, Tanza, is there a course I should take? Is there a book I should read? You know, I really want to learn more about this. And it was like my blinders were on. Instead of being like, sure, let's work on going and I'll help to teach you this and help, you know, coach you and guide you and mentor you in this, I would search my brain or my resources to find a book. When really the truth is that if you're a big reader like I am, we only tend to implement a small percentage of what we read. So having a course, having a resource, having someone to support us as we're learning is going to get your clients much better results. And do you find yourself thinking about more ways to help your clients? For me, this was the biggest thing, is I was always thinking about how can I serve them deeper? And so this led me to having a whole bunch of certifications in many, many modalities, because I was always looking for more ways to help people. But the truth is that more ways aren't always better. Can they be great? Absolutely. But sometimes what clients really need is just that safe place to really begin to express and explore who they are, what they want, and that support as they go after it. So is it really possible for you? So coaching is a $2 billion industry, according to Forbes. That they are projecting is going to only go up further and further and further. Why? Well, people are realizing when they have support that they do better in life, they do better at work, they're happier, they learn things like boundaries and, you know, getting clear on their desires and their goals. And there are so many different directions for coaching to go in. that it just continues to increase more and more and more. Going back to typically what most of us do is we turn to our loved ones, and our loved ones, because they love us, they just want us to do what is safe and what feels normal. And they just want us to just do what they expect, the expected. And it doesn't really give us the time or the space to be able to explore what is going to give us the most happiness and fulfillment in our life. And do you have clients you feel could benefit from extra support and guidance? I remember having some clients that I was like, man, oh man, if I just had some way where I could like work with you more, I know that the growth would be tremendous, especially when we got to like something in the healing session that was really deep and really uncomfortable. Because what do most people do when they get to an uncomfortable spot? They distract themselves. They get busy with other things so that they don't have to focus on it. And then when they do start focusing on it, they feel very lost, very confused, very unsupported. I'm sure some of you have even gone through this. I know I certainly have. And they're, sending text messages to you if you're the healer. They're reaching out, looking for support. And often they feel alone and like no one is there to support them. So if you know how to use Facebook, a computer, and have 5 to 6 hours per week to work in your business, you can build a successful coaching business. And we're going to go into this a lot more next week. But I think for me, in the beginning, I thought, to be successful in the online world, which yes, most coaches absolutely want to be working in the online space because there are over 7 billion people on social media and 7 billion on the planet, pardon me. I know that there's 1 billion on Instagram. I don't remember how many active users are on Facebook, but it is a huge amount. So no matter where you live, you want to be utilizing the online world and the online space. And for me, what held me back is I thought, I'm not really great with technology. Like, I'm not a computer person. I know how to use Facebook, but that's it. And the truth is if you know how to use Facebook, have a computer, and you have some time, you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Many of my clients start off working another full-time job. I've helped 4 transition and be able to quit their jobs recently. I'm looking up at my board when I look at that. And then I also have another client who has a toddler at home. I've got clients that have young children. Actually, I've got a couple clients that have toddlers at home. I myself have, my son, my youngest son isn't even 3 yet. My daughter is 6 and my oldest is 8. So I really do get what it's like when you don't have a lot of hours in the day. And if you have good systems and good strategies, you don't need to be tied to your computer. And that's the most amazing thing about this work, is that it really is giving you the opportunity to live your life. And do you have life experience? Going back to what we were talking about with the certification, people don't care about a certification as much as they care about the results. It kind of goes back to being really nice. I saw a question the other day that really made me think, and it was like, would you rather have a nice coach or a coach that is actually going to point out where your weak spots are, or where the inconsistencies are, or where you're not aligned with what it is you really want? And for me, I certainly know what the answer is. And I've certainly had to go through that process of pointing something out that was uncomfortable in the moment, to be like, do you realize that that could be an old limiting belief that it's time to let go of? And for us as healers, we also tend to be people pleasers. So that in the moment can feel uncomfortable. And that's also why I share with my clients, very heart-centered and supportive ways where you can bring that realization to your clients so that they can get the incredible results, because they will forever be grateful, because it's those realizations that change their life. And the last thing is, do you enjoy helping people? No matter what, if you don't enjoy your work, a huge percentage of your life is, I don't want to say wasted, but could be used better, in my opinion. So it's important that you genuinely enjoy helping people. I have watched some people try to come into this industry and just want to do it for the money, and because there's, people that travel and this and that. They never seem to have the success as the person that really genuinely cares about their clients and want their clients to succeed. So if you enjoy helping people, you want to see people be happy, be healthy, be successful, then that is what you need. And like I said, we'll go into that more in depth next week. And so does it really work? So these are just a few screenshots from inside the mastermind. Oh, and one is a text of just my clients. And these are all women. One that I see on here, she struggled to sell $40 readings despite having a ginormous social media following that is way bigger than mine is now. She couldn't get anyone to book $40 readings. She was an incredible, incredible psychic. And during the time in the program, she was able to develop a $7,000 program. She also had a $3,000 program, and within the first 18 days made $7,500, and has since celebrated a $24,000 month. And the last week she was in the program, she had a $13,000 week. So like amazing, amazing, amazing results. I've had clients that have made more in 2 months than they do in an entire year of their old business as in before it evolved into coaching. Had clients who make over $100,000. I'm trying to think if that was 8 months into the year. Yeah, must have been about that. So, and she's on her way to a $200,000 year, $10,000 in 11 days. You know, and the reason I share these isn't to brag. It's not to say, oh, hey, working with me is the best. It's going to change your life. It will change your life. But I share these because if you're like I was, or if you're like what a lot of my clients are, it's still, does it really work? You know, is this something I can really do? Is this something like some people can do it, but can I really do it? Each and every one of these women have had tremendous success, and they are the most down-to-earth, real, heart-centered, intuitive women, and it has been such a privilege to work with each and every one of them. But the more that we share this and the more that we see and celebrate other successes, the more we start to feed our brain that this is normal and that we can release that old mentality of the burnt out and broke healer, because those days are long over. So what does it really look like? I so often get people that are like, okay, what does your business really look like, Tamza? My business obviously has scaled and now I have a team, and so it's a little bit different. But in the beginning, when a person gets started with really building their spiritual coaching business, it looks like they start working with their clients for months at a time in a high-end, high-support package. Generally, these are about 3 months long. They're generally a $2,000 or $3,000 package if you're new into the coaching world. I have had some who are, like I've got one client who is a numerologist, and she has a numerology certification program, which is obviously a much bigger investment. It's a much more in-depth program. So it really looks like tapping into the abundance that is meant for you while being your authentic self. This changed my life when I decided to transition into coaching. And I didn't transition into business coaching first. I was coaching, I had a program called the Soul Connected Creators to really help people to become empowered and to really get clear on what they wanted and to tap into their own intuition. And then I had another coaching program that was the Money Medium Mindset program, which was all about their money mindset and manifesting and abundance and financial planning. So it's not so often I see people believe that they need to be a business coach in order to make money, and that's not true at all, very far from the truth. And, you know, in fact, one of the most successful coaches I know personally, she's a love and relationship coach, and her business is massive, and her success and the impact she has on women is incredible, absolutely incredible. So no way, shape, or form do you have to be a business coach. So in the beginning, you're going to have that package, have that, you know, higher ticket price point, and you're going to show up and support your clients. And so for me, when I started that, you know, in the past, my healing business that I was very proud of, but it always stuck around that $30,000 per year mark. That was about the highest I ever got. And then in my first 12 months to generate $153,000 while coaching, that was life-changing for me. And I had never felt more like I was myself. I was showing up. I was fired up. I was passionate. I had drive again for life. I always say that when I stepped into spiritual coaching and really embraced it, a hustle awoke in me that had never been there before, because the truth was, in my healing business in the past, I wasn't always showing up. But when I was so passionate, so fulfilled by this, and so fired up, it was so easy for me to get new clients, and for me to enroll people, and for me to know that I was making a difference, and to feel good about what I was doing. And to the point where I was able to start really making a difference in our household financially. I was able to have my time with my kids. I didn't, have to go work in some stuffy office. I got to do what I wanted to do and work with people that I absolutely adored. I'll never forget one of my clients. Her whole thing was she wanted to become happier. And watching the transformation of her life was one of the greatest honors I ever got to experience. I mean, I got to watch her really step into her power, start tapping into her intuition, start healing herself, get her mindset on track, start meditating every day, start taking time for her yoga and her rituals that she formed. And through that whole process, she left, a career that wasn't fulfilling. She left a relationship that wasn't fulfilling, because she knew she deserved better. And that was amazing. Another client that pops into my mind that I worked with in the early days, she wasn't even in the same industry as me, but she owns a business. And through working on her own inner self, she told me that she now generates like $30,000 more a month than she did before we started working together, and first started really diving into her mindset about 2 years ago. So absolutely incredible. And so fulfilling. That's the best part, is that the level of fulfillment, because it is real healing for your clients. It's not a Band-Aid. It is giving them the space to really heal. And it'll give you more freedom and more fulfillment. When my business was really busy with clients, and I was having up to 12 clients a week, what happened was that my energy levels were so low, because during my healing sessions, I was always channeling so much and giving so much, being such a conduit for energy, and giving, that it was leaving me depleted. And I began to feel really like I had a job. Like if I had to reschedule anyone, it was like I had to reschedule a bunch of people. Like it was not this whole idea of freedom that I really craved in my own business. Instead, I really felt stuck to my schedule and stuck to working around my clients' hours, because did they work? Did they need a Saturday? Did they want an evening? It was not giving me near the freedom I craved in my life, nor the fulfillment, especially because I knew many of them would walk away and not implement like I would hope. So that is, the biggest thing for me, is that now I know I can work from the beaches of Hawaii if I want to. It's okay that I live in northern BC in a small community. I can work from home. I can pick and choose my hours. Like today, I didn't even come into the office till like 10 or 10:30. I did my yoga this morning and meditated and just took time to just enjoy the morning. And that for me is what I love so much. And then I get this amazing opportunity to celebrate with my clients all the successes that they're having on a daily basis. So a sneak peek into next week's training, what you really need to be successful as a coach. This is what you don't need, that so many people like to think that you do: a certification. I'm not knocking certifications in any way, guys. I truly, truly am not. But I've had so many people reach out to me and say, I took the big fancy certification program. I spent $6,000, $10,000, $25,000, or took it on Udemy for $400. And guess what? I have no clients. And they really don't have a package. And they really don't know who they coach or how they work with them. And they really don't know what that transformational journey that they take people on is. They're lost. So while a certification can be great, it's not essential. You don't need a degree in psychology. You don't need a long history as a successful salesperson. A little secret, I did a few MLM businesses in the past, and I really sucked. I'm a positive thinker, but I could not sell essential oils or shakes or wraps to save my life. And they were always disappointing. And so I truly believed that there's no way I could do sales and get coaching clients because I thought I had to be good at that. You don't need fancy or costly technology. Oh my goodness, can't talk anymore. You don't need a complicated funnel. I have some clients that don't even have a website and are getting clients. So you really don't need to have any of that complicated tech. Here's what you do need: to care about your client's highest good. You genuinely need to care about that. People are always blown away and really aggravated that I don't post my prices and what all is included in working with me just on my website. But the truth is, I will not invite someone into my program unless I feel confident I can help them. And it's got to be for their highest good, because if it's not, I'm not going to work with them. And so to care about what is in your client's highest good is absolutely essential. You need to have a drive to make a difference in the lives of others. A calling, a knowing that you're meant for more, that you have a purpose that you're meant to honor. An open mind and a good mindset. If you still struggle with mindset, don't worry. I'm going to show you some absolutely amazing ways where you can get your mindset on point. And mindset work, let me tell you this. I have a mindset book that I use every morning. I will use that book for the rest of my life, or until all the pages are full, and then I'll buy myself a new book. But the mindset techniques I will use for the rest of my life, because every new level of accomplishment takes a whole new mindset. So if you feel like, oh, but what if I struggle with mindset? Great, we all do. And your next level, there'll be a new thing and a new thing and a new thing. Mindset work is a commitment for life, but it's so life-changing. You need to have a purpose. You know, going back to that drive to make a difference in the life of others, you need to be willing to fulfill that purpose. And you need to be willing to get out of your own way and stop letting ego keep you small and stuck. And be willing to learn and be coachable. I see a lot of people who go, nope, I want to do it this way. I want to do it this way. Sometimes there's a better way. And if there is, you definitely want to learn it. And if you're watching this, you likely are unsure of what that way is. Get someone that can show you. So guys, I'm going to send you all a great big flood of love. I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me over an email or send me a message on Facebook. And I hope you all have an amazing afternoon. Chat soon, ladies.